Hello you guys, welcome back to another day, another week. We are on language arts. We are going to be reading another story, Click, Clack, Moo and Cows That Type. This is a pretty fun, silly story. Please make sure you have your graphic organizer. This is page 119, ready to go. We will be filling this out together, so just make sure you have this handy as we read. And this is a fantasy story, meaning it is not real. It is fictional, and it is a story that is not possible, could not happen. So these cows here are going to take on some qualities that normally cows don't take on. So be looking for that as we are reading. We are also going to be focusing on cause and effect. What happens, and it happens as a result of what? Cause and effect. Something happens and it affects the rest of the story. And so we are going to be focusing on cause and effect. So let's get ready to go. All right.
Click, Clack, Moo. Cows That Type by Doreen Cronin. Illustrated by Betsy Lewin. Farmer Brown has a problem. His cows like to type. All day long he hears click, clack, moo. Click, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo.
Now again, remember this is a fantasy story, so cows are doing something that they can't normally do. Can cows normally type? No, that's how we know it's a fantasy story.
At first, he couldn't believe his ears. Cows that type? Impossible! Click, clack, moo. Click, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo. Dear Farmer Brown, the barn is very cold at night. We'd like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows.
All right, so let's look at our first cause and effect. Whoops, wrong one. Sorry about that. Cause and effect. All right, so you should have this paper ready to go. So, what are the cows doing? They are cold at night, right? So, that's the cause. They want, as a result, they want something to keep them warm, right? They wrote a letter saying that we are cold. So we're going to write that. The cows are cold at night. Okay, so the effect is they write a note to Farmer Brown asking for electric blankets. So they write a note. Write a note to Farmer Brown Make sure you capitalize the B in Brown because that is a proper name. They write a note to Farmer Brown asking, sorry, mine's going over, for electric blankets. Don't worry, I'll zoom in so you can see both of these. Okay. So, let's see here. Let's do the cause first. Whoops. Cows are cold at night, so they write a note to Farmer Brown asking for electric blankets. All right. Oops. Okay, remember, if you need to pause, you can pause your video to finish writing. All right, let's get back to our story. So they wrote a note. Notice they have dear, and then the name Farmer Brown, comma. They write their letter, then capitalize the S in sincerely, comma, the cows. They are writing their note properly. Very exciting.
It was bad enough the cows had found the old typewriter in the barn. Now they wanted electric blankets. No way, said Farmer Brown. No electric blankets. So the cows went on strike. They left a note on the barn door.
They're going on strike. Let's see what they're doing.
Sorry, we're closed. No milk today.
All right. So let's go back to our page. What is happening on this page? The cows are going on strike. They leave a note saying that they will not give the farmer any milk. What is the cause of this? Why are they doing this? Because the cows are going on strike because Farmer Brown ignores the first note. He won't give them an electric blanket. Remember, he says, no way, no way. All right, so Farmer Brown ignores their first note. That's what we're going to put here in that second cause. Farmer Brown ignores the cow's first note. We can say their first note. All right, there's that dot on the I there. All right, so what happens? The effect is the cows leave another note saying they will not give any milk. The cows leave a second note. The cows leave a second note saying what? Saying they will not give any milk. They will not give any milk. Boy, those are some stubborn cows, huh? All right, let me zoom in on that first cause, or excuse me, the second cause. All right, Farmer Brown ignores their first note. Okay, and as a result, the cows leave a second note saying they will not give any milk. That is the effect of Farmer Brown ignoring their first note. Whoops, I keep doing that. Sorry, guys. Hopefully I'm not making you too dizzy. Okay, again, pause if you need to. We're going to go on back to our story, see what happens next with these silly cows.
No milk today, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard the cows busy at work. Click, clack, moo. Click, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo.
Oh, what are they typing now?
The next day, he got another note. Dear Farmer Brown, the hens are cold too. They'd like electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows.
Boy, they're up in the ante, huh? All right, let's see what happens.
The cows were growing impatient with the farmer. They left a new note on the barn door. Closed. No milk, no eggs.
Uh-oh.
No eggs, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard them. Click, clack, moo. Click, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo.
All right.
Cows that type, hens on strike. Who ever heard of such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and no eggs? Farmer Brown was furious.
And then it says here, why is Farmer Brown so upset? What do you think he will do about the problem? Why is he so upset? You can see right here, Farmer Brown with his hands up. Looks like maybe throwing a little tantrum. And the cows and the chicken here, he's so upset because they're on strike, right? And they're demanding electric blankets. All right, let's go on back to our next cause and effect. So now Farmer Brown ignores their note asking that the hens get blankets too. Now the cows, remember, have upped their ante. They're asking for electric blankets for those chickens. All right, so let's write that. Farmer Brown ignores their note. Whoops. Their note. Sorry about that. Asking that the hens get electric blankets too. Alright, so then the effect is the cows leave a note saying that not only will there be no milk now, but there's not going to be eggs either. That's kind of a problem for a farmer, huh? So let's write that down. The cows leave a note saying the cows leave a note saying there will be no milk and no eggs. There will be no milk and now no eggs. Boy. All right. Zoom in on that first cause. You see this pattern here of Farmer Brown ignoring these notes, ignoring these requests. Sorry about that sloppy N and O on the word note. That's N-O-T-E. But you all know how it makes a bigger mess when I try and erase these sorts of things. So we're going to make do. Okay, and then the effect is Farmer Brown ignored. That's the cause, this other note. The effect is now, not only are the cows going on strike, so are the chickens. No milk and no eggs. All right, remember, pause if you need to in order to finish writing. All right, let's go on back. We've got one more cause and effect to fill out. Let's see what happens as we wrap up our story. All right, so yes, Farmer Brown is furious Because he has no milk and no eggs.
Farmer Brown got out his own typewriter. Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand milk and eggs. Sincerely, Farmer Brown.
Ooh. Here's a confrontation.
Duck was a neutral party, so he brought the ultimatum to the cows.
Now before we start reading, look at this picture. Look at the illustrations. Notice now how before, kind of bright colors and stuff, right? Now look at this one. It's pretty drab and dreary. It's getting more intense, the emotion. I love how the illustrator kind of put that emotion into the coloring of the pictures. Pretty neat.
The cows held an emergency meeting. All the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. All night long, Farmer Brown waited for an answer. Duck knocked on the door early the next morning. He handed Farmer Brown a note. Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door and we will send Duck over with the typewriter. Sincerely, the cows.
Interesting. And they're willing to give up the typewriter in exchange for blankets. Let's see what Farmer thinks of this. Whoops. Sorry, guys.
Farmer Brown decided this was a good deal.
All right. Why do you think he decides it's a good deal? Could it be that they can no longer make demands once he gives them their electric blankets? Now they can't type any more notes.
He left the blankets next to the barn door and waited for Duck to come with the typewriter.
All right, so now we can fill out our last cause and effect. So down here, now the cows agree to give Farmer Brown the typewriter in exchange for blankets. So the cows agree to give Farmer Brown the typewriter in exchange for blankets. Okay, so this is the cause. The effect is Farmer Brown, agrees. He decides to give them the blankets. Farmer Brown gives them the blankets. Farmer Brown gives them the blankets. Whew, our conflict is finally resolved, right? All right, so let's take a look at that. I apologize, this is really, I noticed not very level. Sorry about that. All right, so let's look here. Cows agree to give Farmer Brown the typewriter in exchange for blankets. Seems like they're making a compromise, both the farmer and the cows and chickens. It's normally a good way to resolve conflict, huh? So as the effect, Farmer Brown decides to give them the blankets. All right, we've got a little bit more to read. So let's finish up with our reading. Again, I apologize. This is pretty wobbly. All right.
The next morning he got a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring. We'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. Click, clack, quack. Click, clack, quack. Clickety, clack, quack.
Uh-oh. So now that he's resolved this conflict, Farmer Brown, with the cows and the chickens, now who's asking for some stuff? Now the ducks see this opportunity and they're starting to write notes right to the farmer. Again, can cows or ducks type? No. So we know that this is fiction, but beyond that, we know that this is a fantasy story because it can't happen in real life. Okay? So let's take one last look back at our graphic organizer. And let's scroll up to the top. Let's recap what happened in our story. So first, the cows are cold at night. The effect is they write a note. They type out a note to Farmer Brown asking for electric blankets. Does Farmer Brown, agree to this? No, he does not. Farmer Brown ignores this first note. So as a result, the cows leave a second note saying they're on strike. Remember, saying that they're not going to give any milk. Then what happens is Farmer Brown ignores this note saying that the hens want an electric blanket too. Remember, the cows have written another note, a third note, saying that not only are they cold, but the hens are cold as well and they would like a blanket. Farmer Brown ignores this note as well. The cows leave another note saying that now they're striking not only with no milk, but no eggs from the hens. So it all comes to a head. And then the cows finally compromise. They agree. They say, okay, we're going to give up this typewriter as long as you give us those blankets in exchange for those blankets. Farmer Brown finally agrees to give them the blankets. So the conflict is resolved here, but we could do another one, right? We could do what happens next. Now the ducks are writing a letter demanding, what are they demanding? They are demanding a diving board because the pond is boring. As a result, what do you think Farmer Brown might do? Do you think he's going to ignore this note, or do you think he's going to give in to their demands? What a crazy farm here, huh? All right. Well, we are done with this lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I miss you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.